إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد فإن خير الحديث كلام الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. Respected brothers and sisters, today I want to remind myself and you of some aspects of Ramadan, and not the aspects that we always get reminded about, but some of the aspects that may be a little bit hidden from us, or we may not maybe remember them as much as some other things. As you know, this is the month of fasting, an increase in our prayer. If we didn't pray before Ramadan 11 rak'ah at home or 13 at home, then we increase. If we prayed at home already 11 before Ramadan and after Ramadan, we don't increase in the number, but maybe we increase in that we come together with our brothers and sisters, come with the sisters, and we pray in the masajid. So that is something we all know, and we should pay attention to two things always in Islam, and especially in Ramadan. One is the rights of Allah. Rights of Allah. We must know His rights. Before we know the rights of our wives and husbands and children and everyone else from the humans, we must know the rights of Allah. And the most important of His rights is to be worshipped alone, which means to be obeyed alone. Because when we say to be worshipped alone, doesn't mean we go and pray how we like, then we go out of the masjid and we do what we like. We say we worshipped Allah already. No, worship means in Arabic, because most people, they don't know the meaning of worship. Worship means to love and to obey. To love and to obey. So if you don't love Allah and you don't obey Him, you can do million rak'ah. It doesn't matter at all. That is why someone who doesn't say La ilaha illallah and doesn't follow it is not a Muslim. He may pray billion rak'ah. He may fast all year. Not accepted. For that reason, we must know what it means La ilaha illallah. There is no one whom we must worship except Allah. What does it mean? Most Muslims, unfortunately, they don't know. And you can see it clearly in Ramadan, because they don't respect the rights of Allah. And today I want to pay attention to that. The rights of Allah, the second part, the rights of people. And in the month of Ramadan, we are faced with both, because we must fast, that's the right of Allah. That we fast in order to do what the Prophet ﷺ said, imanan wa ihtisaban. What does it mean? We believe that fasting of Ramadan is an obligation. It is an act of worship. It is not to lose weight. It is not because our friends are fasting. It is not because our family are Muslim. It is not because the society will be upset if we don't fast. None of that. It's because we believe Allah said and we say sami'na wa ata'na. We hear and we obey. That is the first reason we must fast. Ihtisaban, because we expect reward of Allah. We don't fast for free. We want reward. We want something from Allah for that. So we don't do anything for free. If someone thinks, do it for Allah, yes, Allah inshallah will give us. That we don't do for free. We don't do for nothing. We want Allah to have mercy on us in this world and to give us our reward on the day of judgment. That's the reason we fast. And in this month, that is one of the greatest rights of Allah. That we fast as ibadah. Not as some people claim, because fasting is good for your health, and someone proved that after research. So if he didn't exist before research, we don't fast then. And his research never came. What do we do then? Sahaba never knew that research, so what happened to them? Subhanallah, people now, they start fasting more when they know some kafir produced the research. Who cares about his research? Subhanallah. We have Quran. Who cares about this research? Only weak Iman people care about this research. Wallahi, we have to be careful. That's why the scholars are warning us. Be careful of these people who interpret everything to mean something. Research. Quran, mashallah, research. Yeah, subhanallah. Before research, Quran existed, and it will exist after research. So we do not connect our ibadah to any research. No. We say, yes, that research miskin, he didn't know before. We knew, alhamdulillah. Our grandfathers who couldn't read and write, they knew better than this guy who spent 20 years studying to make this research. That's our response. Does it mean we don't do research? No, but we don't connect our ibadah to research. Because tomorrow another research may come and say, sorry, we made a mistake in that research. Actually, fasting is very bad for you. So what, do we stop fasting now? And we have to connect to Allah. We have to connect to the Quran and to the Sunnah, not to research. Every day new research comes out. Today is good for you. Tomorrow is bad for you. SubhanAllah. We can't eat anything almost after iftar. This is bad. This is good. This is not so good. What are we supposed to eat? So we are not supposed. We have many brothers and sisters who've gone into that and gone astray. They're now saying Coke is haram, Pepsi is haram, 7-Up is haram. Who says it's haram, ya akhi? He says it's bad for you. Ya akhi, is halal or haram? He says haram, but it's bad for you. If it's bad for us, it must be haram, because Allah said, وَيُحَرِّمْ عَلَيْهِمُ الْخَبَائِثِ. This I'm giving you an example. Because the right of Allah, we worship Him through fasting. This month, through fasting. And that's an act of worship. When you do what Allah said, of course it has many pluses. No minuses. Pluses if you do how Allah likes it. So this is one of the rights of Allah. Another right of Allah, that we increase our prayers. Or maybe we do it with our brothers, like I said, in the masjid, if you didn't increase it. So we must know the rights of Allah in the masjid. You come to visit Allah, Baytullah, the house of Allah. Don't come with a ringtone, with a cow mooing. And we in the salah and someone brother's ringtone is mooing of a cow. MashaAllah, great respect to the masjid. Cows in the masjid, in the phone. This I'm talking to you about something I heard, not something I imagined. Not to mention, mooing of the cow is very nice compared to the music. Almost every ringtone we hear is music. Fear Allah, brothers and sisters. And you fear Allah, music is haram. Don't listen to the so-called ulama who make everything halal. They say we make things easy for people. The Prophet said, Inna dina yusr. The religion is easy. So if you go outside of religion, it's not easy anymore. So don't make halal what Allah made haram. Don't open this door for the shabab and everyone else. Some of them doesn't feel shame and says in his book, I don't go to sleep until I listen to Kulthum. If you're married, get treatment. SubhanAllah. If you're ill, get treatment. Don't say you're sheikh and you spread your dalalat to people. And you say music is halal and this is halal. Everything is halal now. Riba, because you are forced, halal. Okay, what is haram left? So we have to fear Allah. We cannot go. Some brothers come in shorts. I saw the other day I did tarawih. Some brother in shorts. I think you sleep in those. La ilah. When you go to meet someone important, job interview, forget it's important. Job interview, just you want to get a job. This guy maybe is not a big person in the company, just he wants to see you. You don't go in shorts. How you go to masjid in shorts? This is short to me. Even non-Muslims know it. They ask me, can I go in my trousers? They're worried about trousers. This guy is a Muslim, go in shorts. These are things we must know already. Don't bring your phone. Switch off your phone, Ikhwan. Don't worry. And if you're not on the phone for Tarawih, it's good for your health. Wallahi, it's good. Don't switch on your phone and it's ringing music and whatever different styles. This the Imams say all the time, but people don't respect. Why? Because they think deen is just I come, I pray like chicken, peck, go. And this is in the hadith, the Prophet said, don't be like a chicken, he said. You peck, like, you give them seeds and they peck the seeds. That's how some people pray. They attack the Imam, making it so long, 5 minutes long, he made. And they can sit in front of cricket match for 5 days. We have to know these things. I'm reminding myself and you. And we have to know that this is the greatest month of the year. So we must know the rights of Allah. Allah is saying to His people, say, Hayya ala salah. It means in Arabic, come to pray. Not only that, He said to the Prophet, say, Hayya ala falah, come to success. Well, success, we worried about everything. Allah says, you want success? Come to prayer now. So we delay until last rak'ah, we rush, then we pick, then we come back. And we should go when Allah says come. Imagine the Prophet ﷺ said to you, come now to Salah. He said, just wait a minute. Some of the Salaf, he was Haddad, blacksmith. So when he hears Allahu Akbar, he raised his hammer. He put down and say, Allah is calling me. How can I continue with my job now? That's when we treat like this. Now we will have falah. So these are the rights of Allah. And the rights of Allah, when we read Quran, we understand what He's saying to us. This is the month of Quran. But do you think when Jibreel alayhi salam comes to do Quran in Ramadan with the Prophet sallallahu, the Prophet sallallahu just recite, never understand what it says? Do you really think that? Not possible. People say yes, for every letter the Prophet said you get 10 good deeds. Yes, just to read 10. What do you think if you try to understand that letter? How much do you get, you think? Many people think 0. Subhanallah. This is su'dhan billah. If just for reading you get that, which anyone can read, if you can't understand, someone who understands the Quran, what do you think he gets? Someone who does what the Quran says, what do you think he gets? More, much more than 10 for one letter. So we must try and understand. You don't know Arabic? We said many times, learn Arabic. Learn Arabic. You learn so many things, IT, BT, CT, iPad, iMac. All this we spend money on, but for Quran, we are very busy. Very busy. The World Cup is going on. And a bunch of people in underwear running after a leather ball. That's very important. And the underwear, we have to understand what is important in life. Who cares about World Cup? Who cares if someone won it 10 times? Who cares? What is it important? Why? And we have to wake up as Muslims. We are 1.5 billion. What do we represent? Nothing. Almost nothing. The Sahaba were 100,000, they represent everything. Why? Because they respect not football, because in that time also many games existed. No, not football, not cricket. Forget cricket. Some people kill each other for cricket. They kill themselves maybe, if their team loses. But this is month we have a chance to get close to Allah. We must use it. So that after Ramadan we continue, not after Eid we stop everything. No, we continue. So these are some of the rights of Allah in the masjid, in the fasting, in the prayer, in the Quran. So these are very important things. So if you don't respect the salah, you don't respect the fasting, because in the fasting you can't. So look how some brothers drive in Ramadan, brothers. Wallahi, he says, I'm in a hurry to get to Iftar. If you're supposed to kill 3 people on the way, A'udhu Billah. Who allowed you to drive like this? I always say it because I get upset. I don't go in the fast lane anymore. Because it will destroy my fasting. I will be upset and I may say something to them or do something. What is this driving? A'udhu Billah. Buy a smaller car. If bigger car makes you make sins, buy a smaller car. Yaris, buy Yaris and drive around. Subhanallah, why do you... This is part of respecting Allah. That you don't upset your brother just because you made glass, you can't see anyone through there. Doesn't mean Allah can't see you. So what, I can't see you? Allah can see you. They don't let anyone just for 1 millimeter, they're ready to kill each other. Is this Jude in Ramadan? We say you should be generous in Ramadan. Where is it? So we have to not be worse than non-Muslims in driving. Why are we worse? We are waiting for the government to give us rules. This is a shame. Wallahi, it is a shame. When Muslims between themselves are killing each other on the road because you can't see him in the car. That's the reason. If you see, maybe he will not do it. And we have to think about these things. These are important things. Not just in Ramadan, in everyday life. How we treat each other is a sign of how we treat Allah. Because if we don't respect a fellow Muslim, it means we don't respect Allah. Wallahi, we don't respect Allah. If we don't respect someone who says praise to Allah and says astaghfirullah, says la ilaha illallah, and he fasts and so on, we don't respect Allah. And I will talk about it in the second part, inshallah. The second thing we should take care of in Ramadan is the rights of people. And that is where spending comes in, generosity comes in, good manners come in. So, for example, to give water, and we have great initiatives by the government. We should support them. We have initiative by Sheikh Muhammad to give water to more than 5 million people in the world. We should support it. It's a very good initiative. What do you think, Ikhwan, if Allah forgave someone who gave water to a dog? What do you think if you give to a man water? What do you think? The Prophet said the greatest deed is happiness you put into your Muslim brother's heart. When you drive like madman, what kind of happiness you put into your brother's heart? You know, many brothers, they don't care. Even sisters. I saw a sister driving like a brother. What manners we have here? The Jeep has changed your manners. This is pathetic. You should have manners. Come to control the Jeep, not the Jeep control you. You own it, not it owns you. SubhanAllah. Then when you talk to them, they say, in Saudi is worse. MashaAllah, great. So we should look at what is worse. So when you say, brother, why don't you pray? Say, that one, he doesn't even come to Jum'ah. At least I come to Jum'ah. That should be the standard then. We should look at people better than us, not people who are worse than us. In the deen, I mean. In the Financial, yes, we should look at people who are worse than us because it's not in their control. What is in our control, we must change. The munkar. This is munkar. How people drive, wallahi, it's munkar. They're trying to kill each other. Why are you waiting for police, ya ikhwan? Don't wait for police. Have good manners. Learn in Ramadan. And the reason the Muslims are in this situation because they don't respect each other. They don't respect Allah. They think, okay, put some water in the masjid, mashallah, I've done. And Allah must accept from me. And Allah said in the Quran, وَالَّذِينَ يُؤْتُونَ مَا آتَوْا وَقُلُوبُهُمْ وَجِلًا. So the Prophet ﷺ was asked by Aisha, because this ayah is very great in Surah Al-Nur. This ayah says, those who give what they give, and their hearts are trembling, that it will not be accepted from them. So Aisha said that these Ya Rasulullah, people who commit sins like they commit zina and drink alcohol and she said, no, these are people who pray and fast and do good things, but they are fearing Allah will not accept from them. Why? Because they think they haven't done it correctly. Maybe their intention was wrong. Maybe their intention was not pure for Allah. Maybe the way they did it was wrong. And now we have someone throw some water in the masjid. MashaAllah, Allah must accept it. So I'm very good, I'm keen. I've done so much good deeds. What kind of attitude is this? We must worry that when we have done so much that people don't even know how much good we have done because we don't tell them, we are worried Allah will not accept from us. Why? Because we have that attitude. You must accept. So that I want to draw the attention of everyone here. That's why the Prophet ﷺ said 1 dirham or dinar overcame 100,000. How? Because of the attitude. This person had little money, he gave half of what he had. That's the attitude. So when we give, first of all, we must worry. Allah will not accept from us because in the heart, there are problems going on. Our attitude to Muslims. Whenever you see a person treating a Muslim bad, know that his religion is deficient. Why? Because that's a sign. That's a sign. Because the Prophet ﷺ said, arrogance, kibr, is to reject the truth and to think oneself better than other people. And you can see that. Because someone treating you badly, he thinks he's better than you. Because if he thought you better than him, he would treat you like someone better than him. He would respect you. He would show that respect. So that is very important. We must worry that Allah doesn't accept. And secondly, we must not advertise. We must not boast. I've done so much. You've done, but did Allah accept? You don't know. And Allah said, إِنَّمَا يَتَقَبَّلُ اللَّهُ مِنَ الْمُتَّقِينَ. Only Allah accepts from those who have taqwa. Can you guarantee you from them? No. We don't even know if our one prayer is accepted. We hope. So we in Ramadan must be nice to people. To learn. You can't speak nice words, learn. Go take a course in good speech. Where are such courses? We don't have. We have everything, IT, this, that. We don't have good manner course. Where is it? Show me one course. That course is in the masjid. When you attend khutbah, when you come early to the khutbah because you want to please Allah, when you're nice to the people in the masjid, when you're nice to the people when you leave the masjid, which is more important even. Because in the masjid you have some order, people can look at you, people can shout at you, people can say something, but outside the masjid no one except Allah is watching you. And if you can't see the police, you may say, I can't do anything. So we must learn that in Ramadan. Because we come every night together. Every night. So we must learn, the Prophet ﷺ said, if you've eaten garlic or onions, or leek, anything with a bad smell, anyone smoking, don't come to the masjid. Don't be offended, nothing personal. Though you smoke, stay outside to do tarawih at home. Don't kill us, because it's worse than garlic and onions. And garlic and onions we shouldn't allow, and worse we should allow? No. So respect, this is from respecting the people. That you don't stand next to someone and you wish the Imam quickly finished. It's not proper. So we must learn in Ramadan. The Prophet ﷺ, they said, Ibn Abbas said, كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أجود الناس. He was the most generous of people. In Ramadan and before Ramadan, after Ramadan. Generally. And you know the amazing fact, the Prophet ﷺ was not the richest of people. He died and he had his armor mortgaged as security to a Jewish man for some food. Subhanallah. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. You think you're so good? Look at the Prophet. And he was the most generous. There is an addition in the Muslim of Imam Ahmad of this hadith, which is in Bukhari Muslim, says he wasn't asked about anything except that he tried to give it. And when Jibreel used to meet him, he used to increase. This shows when you meet good people, knowledgeable people, people of Akhirah, who are not obsessed with the dunya, you increase because you know how little this dunya weighs in the sight of Allah. So we must have those adab in Ramadan and outside of Ramadan. But in Ramadan, we must learn. We must help one another. When a Muslim is hurt, we must feel like we are hurt. And if we treat each other like that, we will taste the sweetness of Ramadan. And if we don't, Ramadan will go, we will just be waiting for Eid and be happy. And we should be sad when Ramadan goes. Why? Because this is a time when Allah is more generous. And we should be more generous. Every night He releases people from the hellfire. Means you will never be in the hellfire. Every night. Isn't it worth it to change something with you? Of course it's worth it. Isn't it worth to switch off the television? Isn't it worth not to go so much on the internet and to try and read the Quran and understand, try to gain some knowledge? Because knowledge is more important than food. Imagine you didn't have iftar. Many people go without knowledge all their lives. Imagine they're hungry all their lives. They don't know the sweetness of knowledge and iman. So we must not be like those people. We must be good to one another, especially those who are weaker than us, poorer than us. We shouldn't look down on them, because the Prophet ﷺ said, when he asked Allah, he said, I ask you Khutba al-Masakin. I ask you to love the poor people. And Abu Dharr radiallahu anhu said, my friend, meaning the Prophet ﷺ, advised me, and one of them is said to be close to the poor people. So we must never look at the poor people as if they're worse than us, because they are poorer than us. Worse than that, some brothers, may Allah guide them, they have this psychology, I have a kafir passport, therefore I'm better than a Muslim passport. That can lead to kufr, billah, if the person is not careful. So what, who cares you have Canadian, American, British passport? These are kuffar, not Muslims. So you should not look down upon a brother who has a Pakistani or any other Muslim passport. Doesn't have anything to do with that. Passport is not in your control even. Where you're born, where you go, especially if it's a kafir passport. We should look at things through the eyes of Islam. And we must love what Allah loves, and we must hate what Allah hates. That is the true iman. For that reason, we must in Ramadan try and be as close to Allah as possible. And inshallah, after Jum'ah, I will sit for a little bit before we start our Arabic class to answer some of your questions, if you have any, and to learn a little bit about the ahkam of Siyam and some of the issues to do with this month. And may Allah enable us to know the true meaning of Ramadan and enable us to fulfill His rights and the rights of the Muslims everywhere. And may Allah relieve the hardship of all our brothers and sisters everywhere around the world by them going back to their religion, because that is the only way that they can feel relief. And I ask Allah to forgive us all in this month, enable us to fast correctly, pray correctly, and do everything else He loves correctly, and that He accepts from all of us. وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ, and establish your prayer.